Thank you.
All set?
Okay.
Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to the July 25th, 2022 regular meeting of the Gladstone City Council and call this meeting to order. Madam Clerk, all 4 current members of the City Council are present. We have a quorum. We have 1 vacancy on the council. And if you'd please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Ready, halt. Mr. Mayor, the colors are present.
Fine. Post the colors, please. Thank you.
Present arms. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Word arms.
Thank you. Please be seated. As always, we want to thank the Honor Guard from VFW Post 10906, Carla Gleaton, Dennis Perkins, Gordon Harris, Jim Zimmerman, and Stanley Stoner. Always appreciate your presentation of the colors. Item number 4 is approval of the agenda. Does anyone have any changes for this evening's agenda? Hearing none, the agenda is approved. Item 5. Approval of the minutes from the July 11th, 2022 closed City Council meeting.
Mayor Garnes,
Councilman Mallon.
I move to accept and approve the minutes from the July 11th, 2022 closed City Council meeting.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the July 11th, 2022 closed City Council meeting minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Minutes are hereby approved. Item 6 is approval of the minutes from the July 11th, 2022 regular City Council meeting.
Mayor Garnes,
Councilman Mallon.
I move to accept and approve the minutes from the July 11th, 2022
Second.
regular City Council meeting.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the July 11th, 2022 regular City Council meeting minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? The minutes are hereby approved. Item 7, communications from the audience. Is there any member of the audience that would like to address City Council on a matter that is not on this evening's agenda? If so, please step to the podium and good evening, Mr. Oldebecken.
Thank you, Mayor Mellums. My name is Jim Oldebecken. I live at 400 Northeast 76 Terrace. I just have a couple of brief comments regarding the Clay County Commission. I attended by live stream a meeting last week where something caught me by surprise. It had to do with a proposal and a proposed ballot initiative to reduce the property tax surcharge by 10%. And it was new to me. I know this has been discussed, maybe even a greater amount, but I paid attention to the comments and everything seemed very reasonable to me in terms of, well, if we lower it, competitive issues with other counties, this could be good for business attraction and development. But then I heard the cities, the various cities in Clay County express their opposition. There were many. And they were concerned. And some of the comments that they presented had to do with their rising costs, especially costs that are directly related to providing public services and retaining, supporting the employees of the cities. And in these uncertain economic times, it concerns me. I noticed that at the end of the meeting, Mr. Carpenter expressed his opposition generally to this. I cannot speak for him, but that was my understanding. And then Megan Thompson, the other associate commissioner, expressed her desire to slow things down, let us understand the impacts for the county, for the people, as well as the businesses that would benefit, and certainly for the cities. And my hope is that we are being included in those studies and that we have the opportunity to provide an analysis of the downstream impacts. Additionally, we have an election coming up, and a few of us have worked on a project to help inform voters of who is running. As back to the commission, we're going from a 3-member commission to a 7-member commission. There are many people running, some we know well, and some we don't know. So I'll leave this for you and some of the senior staff. This is a 18-page voter guide for this election specific to Clay County. And I just want to say I join you in grieving over the loss of an officer in the Northland who died in the course of performing his duties to keep us safe. And thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Oldebecken. Any other comments? Please, if you'd like, just come to the podium and give us your name and address for the record and whatever you want to talk to us about.
My name is Linda Gillum, and I live at 4100 Northeast 62nd Terrace, and that's in Carriage Hills, and we live next door to the Airbnb. And I know you all have heard about this and are working on it, and we were just kind of wanting to see if you'd made any progress or what we need to do. Our homeowners was working on it, but our homeowners has come into a problem where the man that was the lawyer that was helping us out, that's a member of our homeowners, a lot of our homeowners found out that they were paying him, and so people are upset about that, and they want him kicked off. So therefore, we've got this big disturbance on our homeowners, so I don't know that they're going to be able to go forward and do much. So we were hoping that you could help us out. I mean, this has been going on for 2 months. There's probably been 2 nights out of the whole time that there's not been anyone in that home. And there's usually 4 to 6 vehicles there at that house. And they're parking in the driveway. I mean, it's a 3-car garage, and they fill the driveway. They're on the street. They're blocking the sidewalk when they park. So, and I think you've heard about the trash situation, so I'm not going to go through that again. But we were just here just to see if, you know, what we can do, what you can do, because I'm really concerned about our homeowners right now exploding. So that's it.
Appreciate that. Thank you. You know, we received comments on this. I think it was at our last meeting, and I'll say the same thing again. We had started working on some ordinances to cover something like this several months ago because we had understood that this was going to be coming. We thought we were being proactive by looking into that in advance before it became a problem. And now we've had 2 meetings in a row where it's a problem. So we are still working on it. I know city staff are still working on it, looking at what our different options are. I don't know that that does you any good dealing with the situation next door. I just found out that I believe I have one of the Airbnb houses on the block I live on also, I just found out. So I was wondering where the noise was coming from. I think I'm going to be dealing with the same thing. So. Yeah.
I talked to the homeowner.
Please come up to the podium and give us your name. Yeah, we're interested.
Jim Gillum, that's my wife. I talked to the owner when he was moving in, and I said, when you moving in? He said, I'm moving in 2 weeks. So I thought he was moving in. Then he comes back and says his wife is a doctor over here in Gladstone. And so she's got patients going to come in, stay a couple of days, get treated, and leave. And then we found out through one of the customers, they came up from Branson, Missouri, and they had 5 cars, 9 kids, and a whole bunch of men and women. And they played, they jumped over the fence, catching balls, playing all kinds of stuff out there in the back. and have no use for anybody, residents, that we live there. And I got pictures to prove it, and I hope you guys, please, help us.
Thank you. Mr. Wingerson, is there any further updates we can give these folks?
Yeah, maybe two things. Didn't know about the neighborhood transition in terms of their leadership, but my understanding is that the Homes Association has hired a local attorney, real estate attorney, who has drafted a letter to the owner and the Airbnb. I'm not 100% sure if it's been sent yet or not, but as we've talked about before, the primary real estate issue here is the contract between the homeowners of the Homes Association and the property owners. So that's the most powerful form of enforcement available to us. That said, we're also looking at our ordinances to see if it's truly allowable under our current codes. We're not done yet, but I believe that it won't be. And if that's the final interpretation of our code, then we'll begin writing letters as well to the property owner and the services that list the houses. So that's where we are. I think we're moving pretty quickly over 2 weeks.
Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate it. Any other comments from the audience? If not, we'll move on to item 8, communications from City Council. Council members follow.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a reminder, we're encouraging you to complete the comprehensive plan documents that, or survey that is out on our website currently. They're due by July 31st, and those will really help us in this process. And we're looking forward to presenting that here sometime in the late fall, early winter to the public. So please take advantage of the opportunity to voice your opinions about our future here in Gladstone, and those are, again, due July 31st. A huge thank you to Eugene Suter for the corn.
Yes.
Delicious.
It is unbelievable. So if you haven't purchased any yet, you need to go to either Westlake Hardware, Gladstone Bowl, or the farm itself, Atkins Johnson Farm, and purchase several ears of corn, because you will not be disappointed. And that's all I've got. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Mallon.
No comments this evening, Mayor.
Mayor Pro Tem Moore.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to thank Police Chief Ferris for the tour he gave the mayor and me last week of the temporary police housing, or the police, our police offices over at Prospect Plaza. Everybody seems to have moved in very well and seems to be happy with the space. So we know that that's a win-win for us. It saves the city money and does not have our officers in trailers. And the school district graciously has given us that space. So I want to thank the chief for his great tour. I also had the opportunity to attend a Parks Board meeting when the mayor was unable to attend, and some of that is actually on our agenda this evening, some of the things that we saw at that meeting. I also want to thank NNI for hosting the Candidates Forum. I saw Mr. Oldenbeck in there the other evening, and I just encourage everyone to be informed and vote in the August primary. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. And I just wanted to comment on the record for the tragic loss of North Kansas City Police Officer Daniel Vasquez this past week, who's killed in the line of duty. His funeral will be held this week. Gladstone's going to be honored to serve as his final resting place. I would hope that we'd keep his family, his friends, and all of our police officers in your prayers. Item 9, communications from the city manager, Mr. Wingerson.
Thank you, Mayor. I think I'll just respond to Mr. Oldebecken's question about the surtax. For everybody's benefit, a surtax is a tax on manufacturing equipment. Gladstone has very little manufacturing equipment. In fact, it's limited to La Tierra Tacos just south of here. The total impact of the proposed ballot issue that Mr. Oldebecken referenced is about $5,000 to the city. So there are much bigger dogs in the fight, including the city of Kansas City, the city of Liberty, and the school districts are impacted by the change in surtax as well. So I just wanted to explain why we weren't at the commission meeting for the surtax and voice our objection. It's because there are other dogs in the fight that are bigger than us. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to the item 10, the consent agenda. Madam Clerk, would you please explain and read the consent agenda?
A consent agenda allows the City Council to consider and approve routine items of business without discussion. Any member of the City Council, the city staff, or the public may request removal of any item from the consent agenda and request that it be considered under the regular agenda if discussion or debate of the item is desired. Items not removed from the consent agenda will stand approved upon motion by any council member, second and unanimous vote to approve the consent agenda as published or modified. Consent agenda. Consider special event permit. Law Enforcement's National Night Out, Friday, August 5th, 2022, 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock p.m., Happy Rock Park West. Resolution R-22-40, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with Play and Park Structures, Incorporated, in the total amount not to exceed $157,954.31 for the Happy Rock Park Softball Complex Playground Replacement, Project CP2358. Resolution R-22-41, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with U.S. Toy Company, Incorporated, doing business as Constructive Playthings, in the total amount not to exceed $35,182 for Happy Rock Softball Complex Playground Surface Replacement, Project CP2358. Resolution R-22-42, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with Playscape Recreation, LLC, in the total amount not to exceed $353,600.90 for the replacement of the two Oak Grove Park shelters, Project CP2357. Consider financial report for month end June 30, 2022.
Thank you. Does any member of the audience request the removal of any item from the consent agenda for discussion? City Council? Mr. City Manager?
No, sir.
Is there a motion?
Mayor Garnes,
Mayor Pro Tem Moore.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second?
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda as listed. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda as listed, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Consent agenda is approved. We move on with our, I believe, shortest regular agenda ever. Approval of the Meadowbrook Community Improvement District budget for July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023. Is there a motion?
Mayor?
Councilmember Spallo.
I motion to approve the Meadowbrook Community Improvement District budget for July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve the Meadowbrook Community Improvement District budget for July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023. Is there any discussion?
Mayor,
Councilman Mallums.
I'm in favor of the approval. I really want to focus on that replacement of that metal grate. That is a safety concern for not only vehicles but pedestrians that are walking along. It drops off approximately 5 feet. It's been in that condition probably for, I'm going to say, at least 6 months. Doesn't look like there's been any effort to correct the problem, but it needs to be addressed.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I would add to that, we've expressed our disappointment in the overall maintenance of the center and have received a commitment that it will improve in terms of its landscaping and fence repair and pavement and all of that sort of thing. So thank you, Councilman Mallums, for putting that on the record. We will be sure to pass it along very clearly.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Hearing none. All those in favor of approval of the Meadowbrook Community Improvement District budget for July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The Meadowbrook Community Improvement District budget is hereby approved. Item 12, other business. Any other business for City Council this evening? If not, we stand adjourned.